The first morning my daughter started kindergarten, she ran across the classroom, threw her little arms around her new teacher, and whispered 2 words that made every parent in the room go silent. "Mommy, you came." The teacher froze. Then she slowly knelt down in front of my daughter and whispered, "I'm here, sweetheart." I stood in the doorway, completely confused. Why would my 6-year-old call a stranger mommy? And why did her teacher answer as if those words meant something much deeper? For the next few days, I would notice strange phone calls, secret conversations, and little moments that made me wonder if someone had been hiding something from me. If you enjoy emotional and mysterious stories like this, please subscribe to Kindness Story, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. My name is Daniel Carter, and my daughter Lily had been my whole world since the day she was born. Her mother, Emily, passed away when Lily was only 3. After that, it was just the 2 of us. I learned how to make ponytails, pack lunches, find missing stuffed animals, and sit beside a tiny bed whenever nightmares came. Lily remembered very little about her mother. She knew her name was Emily. She knew she had loved music, chocolate pancakes, and rainy afternoons. But the memories were fading. That was why I was nervous about kindergarten. I was afraid Lily would feel alone without her mother there. On her first day, her teacher introduced herself as Mrs. Grace Miller. She was kind, calm, and had a warm smile that immediately made Lily comfortable. But then Lily looked at her face. Her little eyes became wide. She dropped her backpack. And she ran straight toward her. "Mommy." The room went quiet. Grace looked shocked. For a second, she didn't move. Then she slowly lowered herself to Lily's level. "I'm not your mommy, sweetheart," she said gently. "But I can give you a hug if you need one." Lily nodded. Grace hugged her. I watched from the doorway, trying to understand what had just happened. When Lily finally let go, Grace looked at me. Her expression was strange. Not angry. Not embarrassed. Almost emotional. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. I don't know why she called me that. I forced a smile. Neither do I. That night, Lily talked about school non-stop. She told me Mrs. Miller had read a story, helped her open her juice box, and even fixed the ribbon in her hair. Then Lily suddenly asked, "Daddy, why does Mrs. Miller have Mommy's smile?" My heart stopped. I had never noticed it before. The next morning, I searched through an old box of Emily's photographs. There was one picture of Emily sitting on a park bench, smiling at the camera. I looked at it for a long time. Then I remembered Grace's face. There was something similar. But I told myself it was just my imagination. A week passed. Then things became stranger. One afternoon, I arrived early to pick Lily up. As I walked toward the classroom, I heard Grace talking on the phone. "No, he still doesn't know," she whispered. I stopped. My heart began beating faster. She continued, "I promised I wouldn't tell him unless it became necessary." I couldn't hear the other person. Then Grace looked toward the hallway and quickly ended the call. When she saw me, her face changed. "Daniel," she said nervously. "Who was that?" She hesitated. "Just someone from my past." Her answer only made me more suspicious. That night, Lily found me looking at old photographs. "That's Mommy," she said. I nodded. Then she pointed at another photograph. It was a picture of Emily with a group of college friends. Lily touched one woman standing beside her mother. "That's her." I looked closely. The woman was young, but the face was unmistakable. It was Grace. I felt like the room had suddenly become smaller. Grace had known Emily. But why? And why had she never told me? The next morning, I went to the school. Before I could speak to Grace, I saw her standing in the hallway with the principal. Their conversation was quiet. "I told you this would happen," Grace said. The principal sighed. "She deserves to know the truth." Grace shook her head. "Not until I know he's ready." I walked away before they could see me. My mind was racing. Had Emily kept a secret from me? Was Grace connected to something that happened before Emily died? I barely slept that night. The next afternoon, Grace asked if we could talk. She looked nervous. "I owe you an explanation," she said. I waited. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. Inside was an old photograph. It showed Emily and Grace standing together, smiling. "We were best friends in college," Grace said. I stared at her. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because Emily asked me not to." My chest tightened. "Why?" Grace took a deep breath. "Because before she died, she knew she didn't have much time." I couldn't speak. Grace continued. "She knew Lily was too young to remember her. She was afraid that one day Lily would need someone who could tell her what her mother was really like." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "Emily asked me to become a teacher. She said that if I ever had the chance to be part of Lily's life, I should help her grow up knowing how deeply her mother loved her." I stared at the photograph. Then Grace handed me another envelope. Inside was a letter. Emily's handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. "Daniel," I read silently, "if Lily ever meets Grace, please don't be afraid. She is one of the people I trusted most in this world. I don't want her to replace me. I only want her to remind Lily that she was loved every single day." I couldn't hold back my tears. Grace looked down. "I never wanted to cross a boundary," she whispered. "I didn't want to pretend to be her mother. But when Lily called me mommy, I knew she wasn't really seeing me. She was remembering something about you, about her mother, or maybe just looking for someone who felt safe." I wiped my eyes. "So why did you kneel down and answer her?" Grace smiled through her tears. "Because sometimes a child doesn't need correction first. Sometimes they need comfort." The next morning, Lily walked into the classroom. She looked at Grace. Then she looked at me. "Daddy?" "Yes?" "Can I call Mrs. Miller Grace?" I smiled. "Of course." Lily ran to Grace and hugged her. Then she whispered, "You're not mommy." Grace smiled. "No, sweetheart. I'm Grace." Lily thought for a moment. "But mommy would like you." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "I think she would." Years later, Lily still remembered that first day. She never called Grace mommy again. But she always called her Aunt Grace. And every Mother's Day, Lily placed 3 flowers on the table at home. One for the mother she lost. One for the teacher who helped her heal. And one for the love that connected them both. That day taught me something I will never forget. Sometimes, what looks like a secret is actually a promise. Sometimes, what feels like betrayal is really someone quietly keeping a promise made out of love. And sometimes, the greatest kindness isn't correcting a hurting child. It's kneeling down beside them and letting them feel safe. Because children may forget words. They may forget faces. But they never forget how someone made them feel when they were scared, lonely, or searching for love.